All right, I'm heading back out to the project house and I'm gonna go catch up with Jimmy and see how things are coming along. Been texting with him the last couple days. He's been busting it with the sprinkler system, just absolutely killing it. He's been trenching, he's been laying pipe, he's been getting everything hooked up, wired up, set up, and I'm excited to see his progress. He messaged me shortly before I started heading out here and said that everything's working and nothing's leaking, which is awesome. So I'm excited to see what he decided to do and kind of get his take on the learning process and kind of figuring things out. He's definitely a DIYer, that's for sure. So as you can see in the back seat, got some camera equipment. I've got my tuna cans for him to borrow to make sure that he can dial in his sprinkler system to get enough water down. Got the gorilla cart in the bed because he's got topsoil coming. Lots happening and it's happening fast. So let's get out there and let's get started. All right, so here we are. As you can see, he's still working, so I'm not gonna bother him. I already have, just not much anymore. But as you can see, he's got his sprinkler lines in. Front yard is buried for the most part. He's got lines going to the back. I'll show you what's going on over there. We'll look and see what's going on, just kind of give you a tour and an update of how things are looking. So if I did one thing right, I did bring help. You like that? You like it, right?
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Show them your dumping skills.
Okay, watch this. First,
Show them how it's done.
you chuck. Hiya!
There we go.
Then you drag. Then you shake.
You finish it off.
Then you lift.
Perfect. He's got it down. He's got it down, folks. Let's go see what he did over here. All right, the air conditioner's running, so hopefully this will come through okay, but we've got 3 valves set up here. So you still got to dig it out and kind of finish it off. He's got a orbit box here. Looks like it's locked up. He said he's got it hooked up and everything's working though, so that's good. And then the backyard he's gonna do later. So, but looks pretty good. He's off to a good start and he's finishing it up. Now, as far as sprinkler heads go, he went with the Orbit Saturn 3s rotary heads for the front yard, and then I think for the side yard, let's see what we got over here. He's got pipe blade on the side going underneath the driveway, and then it's coming all the way up here over to that window well just there. And then it looks like he's got Rainbirds. These are Rainbird 1800 pop-ups going down the side here, and he was smart to set it up so that they're throwing away from the house, so he's not going to have any issues with water hitting the house, so that's good. And then he's got it capped off just here, and yeah, he should be good to go. So for now, it's just kind of slinging topsoil and getting everything smoothed out and test everything out, make sure all the sprinklers are working and that they have good coverage. Now, when it comes to spreading the topsoil around, I can't emphasize enough to take your time with this step. Make sure that when you're planning your sod delivery and things like that, that you're giving yourself enough time not only to get the dirt out into the area and spread, but to make sure it's as smooth as possible and that it has time to settle a little bit too, because you're gonna have deep spots when you throw it out, but then you go step on it and you sink into it a little bit. So just make sure you give yourself enough time to get it as nice as you can and to have it settle a little bit. That way when you lay the sod, it's gonna grab in and it's gonna kind of stay where you lay it instead of creating a little bit of sinkage and things like that. All right, so we got to give him a break because he's working too hard. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you learned as you put in the sprinkler system, because you literally did it all by yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't get any advice from me, really.
I got a lot of advice and I followed some of it.
Then that's fine. But I mean, you didn't go to like a sprinkler supply store and get a plan or anything. I mean, we talked about, you know, where you could possibly put the heads out and things like that, but you really basically designed this all yourself is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell the people what you learned throughout the process and things that you maybe wish you did different or things that you're glad you did, things like that.
Number one, buy a trencher or rent a trencher, I mean. I kind of just forgot, honestly. I was at the Home Depot for like 2 hours grabbing stuff. Kind of forgot about the trencher. Got home and I'm like, oh, screw it, let's just go for it. It's worth the money, like for sure. And then I would just say, if you know that you've got a good idea of where everything's at and if you've got a pro that you can talk to, like Jimmy over here, you know, measure everything out, make sure you've got it right, and know that you can change it later. If you need to run another pipe out and put another head somewhere to get more coverage, you can do it. But make sure you've learned everything that you need to learn, and then kind of trust, you know, that you can do it. And then always dig out before you lay the pipe.
Yeah, we need to go back there and kind of get his 2 cents on what's going on by the valve box, and we will in a second. But yeah, do you think it was worth doing it yourself? Are you glad you did it yourself?
That's a great question. I think it's worth doing by yourself once. I think now that I know how much work it took, I don't know if I would start from scratch again. I think now I'd be better able to like price it out and feel like, okay, these guys, you know, that's a fair price. These guys know what they're doing. You know, talk with people and hear what their plan is, and know that like, okay, that makes sense versus like, okay, they're just blowing smoke.
Right.
So I think it was worth doing once. I don't know that I'd do it the same thing again.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be digging all the trenches by yourself.
For sure. Yeah.
I told him to go get one, go get a trencher. So it's not my fault, it's his choice. Well, let's go and let's take a look at the box where the main line comes in, and then we'll go take a look at the valves real quick, and then he can get back to work. This is where I showed you where the meters are. There's the meters, and then they run over here, and he's got a ball valve to shut off the main supply to his system. And then kind of walk us through what you did here. Obviously we can see your filter, but
yeah, piece of advice, buy the bigger box if you need to, or if you're on the borderline, just buy the bigger box.
Explain real quick why get the bigger box.
So for one, I mean, even trying to put this filter straight, it's like, I don't even know if I can do it. I can tilt it this way, I can tilt it that way and have it sitting in the corner and it's fine. But then in Utah, you know, we get like total like freeze and snow.
Here, yeah.
And so popping this guy out right here on the top, getting a little adapter in there to run an air compressor and just shoot some compressed air into the sprinklers will empty out the water, and so you won't have the water expanding, freezing, cracking your stuff. I'm gonna have to figure out a solution for that later. But yeah, get the bigger box if you need to. This was already coming in, so from the city they had the 1 inch. And then we just got an adapter to get it down to a 3/4 for the filter. And then we just had to get a threaded 3/4 to a non-threaded 3/4 adapter. To a slip to get it onto the line that runs all the way up to the box. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't too bad overall. The only advice I would say is just get the bigger box.
Yeah, definitely get the bigger box. That way you have more room to work, and like you said, you can get that fitting in there to blow out the lines before winter comes, so you're not freezing and cracking any pipes. I did make a comment earlier, I was being a little snarky, and I mentioned that you missed your trench here. You want to defend yourself?
Yeah, I did that on purpose, obviously. So I originally went through just with like a pickaxe. I just kind of dug through and I was like, okay, this is about good because we're dealing with this outlet right here.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know, we'd run it up till about there. And then by the time I got through laying the pipe, we didn't have to make any cuts for this line. So this is literally just like 10 foot, 10 foot, 10 foot, and this is where it came to. So I was like, okay, well, I might have to move stuff around with these other 2 lines, depending on where everything works out. So let me just wait till and then I had to do this whole box, obviously. So I figured, let me wait until it's all situated, you know, till I really have it all set, and then I'll dig out. And so, I don't know. There's probably a better way to do it, and I didn't do it.
That's okay. Part of DIY is really learning throughout the whole process, and I'm sure you can agree that you've learned tons
I've learned
already.
a lot.
So
Yeah.
very good. Well, eventually this will get buried, and we won't leave it exposed, and we'll get a box over here, and he'll be in business
Sometime between now and next week.
Yeah. All right, I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for this one. Pretty good update. He's been killing it. He's doing a great job. This is gonna look really, really good. Sod's coming. When did you say sod's coming? Thursday? Thursday. Today's Monday. So we've got time to get the rest of this out. Well, he's got time. I'm really helping, as you can tell. He's got time to get the rest of this spread smoothed out as best he can. We're gonna test the sprinkler coverage, go from there, and then we'll be ready to prep for sod, and that will be what happens next time. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.